I think it's a little bit of a waste of time both for the employer and the employee.
The 90% of decision to whether hire a candidate or not to hire a candidate is actually made before people enter the call or enter the conversation.
So I feel like this term PIP has a negative connotation to it because the moment PIP is there, the candidate mentally checks out.
Should I trust my relationship manager?
But they are not incentivized in the right way to make me succeed.
Number one, convenience. Number two, low cost services. Number three, customer support. And number four, personalized offers.
Someone called Claude as C loudly and I had to mute my call to laugh. Welcome to this week's edition of the Indian Startup Desktop. Let's go.
Hello,
Hello,
guys.
hello.
As usual, let's start off with some funny memes. ChatGPT got serious. Hey ChatGPT, look under there. Underwear? LOL, I've made you say underwear. Haha, well played. Say home. Home. Latitude, longitude. Sheesh.
AGI is here, guys.
This is
I
scary.
deeply do think AGI is already here.
Oh, let's move on. This is very funny. Someone called Claude as C loudly and I had to mute my call to laugh.
Oh my god.
Oh God.
Dude, I would have laughed on call only. I would not even have muted myself because this.
It's almost like, yeah, this one, when people call
What
Uber
should
as
the
Uber.
cloud founder thinking about it? That's still
Uber,
fine.
yeah.
Okay, Uber is okay. This is next level.
Your salary is just your company's monthly subscription of you. Then who gave them my discount coupon code?
There was one more tweet, sorry, a quote that used to go along these lines, right? Salary is the bribe that your company pays to you so that you forget your dream, something of that shit.
Let's move on to the best AI rapper that we've come across.
Yes,
Oh
please.
god, this is too funny, man. I love Varun Maya, so I've been doing this, but this is too funny.
Yeah, that's too
Dude,
funny.
this guy's crazy, dude. I mean, I've met Varun once when he used to run Avalon. From that time to now, he has completely changed what he does. Has been automating shit like hell, creating content using AI, selling content using AI, talking about AI.
I
He's
feel like
everything AI
I feel like he's India's version of MBKHD, right?
Yeah. But
I
isn't he
got
getting
it.
a lot of shit for launching? I think he released
With
some
less
new
cash
product
reserves,
recently.
probably.
Yeah, but I think he released
Yeah,
something
the
recently
wallpaper
and
app,
got a
yeah.
lot of shit.
And Varun Maya made a video on that also.
Yeah. Anyway,
Everything that sells.
let's move on to Pavan's weekly dose of Kunal Shah. Pavan, why don't you
Please,
yourself read this tweet out?
no, please not again, Pavan.
Short videos
Please.
will kill long videos. Quick commerce will kill slow commerce. Memes will kill articles. Chats will kill emails. AI tools will kill outsourcing.
And Pavan will kill Kunal Shah's career.
Look at this. Why is Cred killing all cashbacks on credit card bill payment? I literally received zero cashback. Sheesh, man. There are a lot of these bloggers
Oh
who just
God.
wait for Kunal to tweet something and then.
I don't think so. Actually, this is the last line. Though I don't agree. I think so. The entire tweet is written to emphasize on the last line. All the first five lines might be towards being the reality, but I feel the future is towards where companies become more lean, have less number of people who deliver the end goal, and startups would increase in number. Where instead of software to be delivered as service, they'll be delivering outcomes. So outcome as a service becomes more and more common thing. Is what I feel.
Yeah, I find that phrase damn weird. I feel like every business and every product exists to achieve an outcome. So, what is this new outcome as a service thing that's coming out? I think it's a little silly.
So
Hmm.
the thing is, software is a service, right? Irrespective if it delivers you an outcome or not, you end up paying to them. But what differentiates the outcome as a service model is that you will pay only when you have a deliverable received.
Anyway, how to figure out if your boss has a crush on you?
Oh no.
What shit is this? Is this for real?
What the fuck was that, dude?
Is that guys?
I'm
Is
not
is the
stopping left
guy
for anyone from today.
giving the thumbs up at the end?
Guys, so if your boss does this to you, that means you have to file for Posh. There's no two ways going about it. Let's move on to the weekly chatter. PIP or no? There's been a lot of conversation around PIPs, improvement plans on whether they're actually useful for both the company and the candidate. Saksham, what's your hot take on this?
I think it's a little bit of a waste of time, both for the employer and the employee. In some sense, you only put somebody on a PIP when you've made up your mind to, that that person is probably not performing up to your expectations, and you either want that person to move on, and you're just trying to be polite by asking them to actually improve. I have at least historically not seen anybody who's been put on a PIP who's then gone ahead and either stayed in the company for a long time or actually delivered some great outcomes. So let's save everyone some time, give that person severance for maybe a quarter or so, and I'm sure that person will be happy to exit rather than putting the pressure of going through the PIP. Pavan, what do you think?
Somewhere on the similar lines, I believe that the moment you put someone on a PIP, the relationship between employer and employee is already impacted there. So each of these parties will start having second thoughts. They reconsider the decisions, and each of them would be looking forward to have an alternate as soon as they get an opportunity. Candidate would be looking forward to get another job as soon as they get opportunity. Employer will be trying to get one opportunity to fire the employee. So
Yeah,
it's better that you take the decision, fire him out, give him a good severance package instead of making him linger over a period of time and then throwing him in. That's what I feel. And I also
yeah,
believe of that theory. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but the 90% of the decision to whether hire a candidate or not to hire a candidate is actually made before people enter the call or enter the conversation. Like the subconscious mind already makes a decision that this is the type of guy I want to work with, or this is the type of or person I don't want to work with. The interview
yeah,
process or the conversation is only a way to try hard to either change it by making it from positive to negative or the other way around, which only has like 10% weightage. There is a long paper around, there is a research done around this. Similar goes with this firing employees as well. If someone
yeah.
is put on the PIP, the decision to fire him is already made almost. So from both perspectives, it's good to make that call.
Yeah, I agree with both of you, but I think the entire concept of PIP, needs to be tweaked a bit, right? You're essentially helping an employee figure out his skill sets in a different, setting altogether as well. So I feel like this term PIP has a negative connotation to it because the moment PIP is there, the candidate mentally checks out, the organization mentally checks out as well. So if there is a way, some sort of a program or something else, I think that makes a whole lot of sense. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic. The founder of Slice posted a very interesting tweet on Twitter a couple of days back. What do you want from a bank? And we've been getting a lot of interesting
Hmm.
insights from it. Pavan, you want to give your quick comments over here?
I feel like banks and financial institutions over the last few decades have evolved a lot. And fintech although we understand that there is only finance and there is tech, there is no fintech, but have been giving a very good hard time for traditional banks to think about it on what they're doing, to innovate a lot, use their balance sheets for a good purpose. But I feel there is a long way to go. What a Revolut has been able to do in the West, or what a Robinhood has been trying to do by entering into the banking category now from being a stockbroker. They have been miles ahead in their journey in the types of the service they are giving in, the scale they are operating at, the benefits they are providing to customers, how the ecosystem has played out. I feel there is enough room of opportunity to play on it. And one of my favorite things, which I have not felt Indian banks are doing great, is the traditional RM route, right? It's a great service to operate. You have a relationship manager who manages everything to you, and
Yeah.
for a country like India, there is an opportunity for a lot of people to become relationship managers. Banks have good funds to hire a lot of people to become relationship managers. But it goes back to that relevant question. Like, should I trust my relationship manager? Can I buy his advice? Is he qualified enough so that I can trust with his financial advice? That part is not cracked, is what I feel. And I would love to see that being automated or cracked or solved at a large scale.
Saksham, before you jump in, I have a couple of comments over here. Pavan, I
Yeah.
completely agree, right? I think the age in which we are, where we are going more and more digital, we are kind of moving away from the human element of operating all of these things. Now, look, I would love to have a relationship manager in my bank. I have a bunch of people's numbers, but they are not incentivized in the right way to make me succeed. Their only incentive is to sell me more products, be a loan, an insurance, an FD, etc., stuff like that. So my feedback about them, which is an NPS or anything for that matter, doesn't really matter. So I feel like the incentives itself are skewed in that sense, right?
Yeah. I actually think so. For me, I'd rather put it into three or four things that I personally really care about, right? Which is number one, convenience, number two, low cost services, number three, customer support, and number four, personalized offers. Now, in convenience, what these banks have to start doing is obviously make their apps much better, and so that the digital banking as an experience can significantly become better. When I talk about low cost services, obviously, that means how do they reduce the fees on small things like account maintenance, fund transfers, ATM withdrawals, just low cost EMIs, for example, which are the true use cases that people actually care about, right? You guys mentioned about the customer support. In a way, the RM is doing that bit of customer support, but I think the way India is also moving sort of towards as more and more digitized, as we become more digitized, I think also people want to feel independent and want to do feel things themselves. So, having good DIY journeys, having a 24/7 customer support for, with quick resolution timelines, including chat, phone, and probably an in-branch service. And then obviously finally personalized offers so that, there are cashbacks based on spending patterns. There are some of these custom offers, which is when the customer actually feels taken care of. So nothing fancy that a bank has to do. Just stick to these three, four basic things, but do them very, very efficiently. That's what I'd say.
I don't actually quite completely agree with you. I feel that banking services need to get more expensive actually. This is actually a contradictory thought from most of the people. I feel
Okay.
they need to charge more, but as well deliver more returns. I don't want to have a separate broker, separate banking relationship, separate forex relationship, separate credit card relationship. I'll say to a bank that I know you provide all of these services. I'll put all of my money with you. You take care of my entire assets. You take care of my entire liabilities. You take care of my entire loan portfolio, and it's your job to optimize for best returns to me, and whichever bank does it wins. As simple as that.
You're talking about a wealth manager and not a bank, Pavan. These are
Yeah,
two different things. I don't think
exactly.
Exactly.
you
No,
have to do
that's
that.
that's the misconception. When you talk about a wealth manager in present constraints, you only see that how we'll manage your investments. I'm taking care of that. You take my salary also in your bank account. You decide where you invest also. You take my loan portfolio also. You decide which is the best offer that you'll provide to me.
Yeah, I don't think I ever want my bank to do that, right? I
Yeah,
want my bank to be
yeah,
consultative but not prescriptive.
yeah,
Fair, fair. But if this problem is solved with trust and is solved for like 10 other people, and you feel that they are doing better in terms of managing their money, would your trust not change with that now? Or your philosophy of this will change with it?
But you can't really judge this in a 1 or 2 year horizon, no? Like you have to evaluate this in a 10, 15 year horizon.
yeah,
And I think, look, banks should give people the ease of ability to make these decisions but not make the decisions by themselves. For me, I think the zero spam call is an important point.
yeah.
Whenever a banker
I
calls
agree.
me, my first question is, how did you know I want this service, or what logic did you have at your end to make me to call me? And most of the time they were like, no sir, we got a lead sheet, we had to call, etc., stuff like that, which is fucking stupid. I don't want to be, let's say, playing basketball, getting a call and asking me, hey, do you want a home loan in the middle of nowhere, right? It's just crazy.
I
Yeah.
think so. That's how Bajaj Finance's 80% of book is built on top.
Dude, Bajaj Finance should just outsource and start calling as a service. I'm sure all the banks and NBFCs will work with them. Let's move on to the next segment. Unacademy to take on Duolingo.
Interesting.
So the CEO of Unacademy, Gaurav Munjal, tweeted out, a few months ago, I achieved a streak of 100 days on Duolingo for Spanish, but I still couldn't speak or write even a few sentences in Spanish. This is the reason we decided to build Airlearn. Because he couldn't learn Spanish, he thought,
Sounds
hey,
like
let's
a
start a new company.
sounds like a you problem, brother.
But
No,
but
this is
but
actually an
all
HSR
things
core
considered,
Mangla thing actually.
I actually am a huge fan of Duolingo. I even I am on this 50, 60 day streak on Duolingo to learn Hindi, and I think that's definitely helped me for sure.
Pete, please tell us what you've
No,
learned.
this is
No.
actually an
समुद्र के विशाल रतीले तट पर धन के लालच में कब्जा करके मानवों के लिए बस्ती बसाने का षड्यंत्र कर रहे थे. This is actually my touchstone Hindi answer, which I still didn't finish
Let's
yet.
great
go.
feat. This is amazing.
No,
Let's
but I do agree with his point that I think there needs to be a platform where Indians can learn other Indian languages, right? Look,
Hmm.
we all know about this controversy of people in Bangalore or the Kannadigas in Bangalore telling non-Kannadigas to learn Kannada if they want to live in the city. While that is an extremely extreme stance, I think there is some merit to it, right? I think if I am living in Bangalore for the last 5, 10 years, I should put some effort to learn Kannada. It can't be
Yeah,
forced. I completely agree. I think some effort has to be done for sure. I think
I
this is
agree.
a good step in that line.
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
I have like very deep thoughts on like what exactly is Unacademy trying to do, raise like $1 billion in funding, and now you're trying to build an Duolingo equivalent because Duolingo has been doing well in the Western markets, in the stock market, and they're a public company, and this is a global problem to solve rather than focusing on India. is this how the VC bets work? I have like some serious concerns on top. Like, is
But
this
isn't
big
that
enough problem to
isn't
solve?
that what also adaptability is about? When you know you have money in the bank, rather than just going after something which you know clearly is not working out, why not pivot and actually solve something which you also potentially see making yourself some good amount of money, and there is value to be added for the larger audience outside of India as well. Isn't that a good thing?
Imagine, imagine Gaurav Munjal after learning Spanish on Airlearn says bonjour.
And Duolingo founder is replying on the tweet.
That'll be funny. But hey, Indian startup trying to do cool things. Kudos to them. All the best, Gaurav Munjal and Unacademy. Let's move on to signaling. Indian audience. Alien, Lalit Modi, Pakistan, Kriti Senon. Podcast get million of views. But a podcast with Jan LeCun, only 90K.
I
What do
mean,
you
it's
guys
That's
think?
India
fair,
for
right?
you.
Just an FYI for the audience, guys. Whoever doesn't know, Yann LeCun is this French-American computer scientist who's been primarily working in the field of machine learning, computer vision, robotics, for the
Saksham did his
last
research before
five
this
decades.
video.
Yeah. But you
When
know
did you
what,
know
guys?
about him, Saksham? Is
Sorry?
this right before the call?
Absolutely, guys.
When did you get to know about him?
I Googled, I read about it, I came prepared for this call. And you know what? It also sort of goes to validate our hypothesis on why some videos do well, some videos don't do well. Because while this guy could be a well learned man, and one of the most learned in this space, if people don't know him, people won't want to watch him, irrespective of whether even if he's talking to Nikhil Kamath, who's the obviously,
But
the
one
one
thing
of the most
certain,
famous
girls.
celebrities.
Yeah. But look, people, I feel like this is just a signaling stint, right? You say that, oh, you guys consume shit content, I consume great content, so I'm much better. Just shut up. If you like good content, just shut up and watch it by yourself, man. Why call out other people? I
I
mean,
feel
that's
this is
really what we do, but still.
Yeah, I feel like goes back to that India divide problem. There is like a small, like 1% of niche which consumes this kind of content, and the rest
Hmm.
of the 99% wants to watch masala content, Bollywood content, or something that entertains. They don't come to watch content to get learned or have
Yeah.
insights. We definitely fall in the former category, Pete.
Let's move on to the elafda of the week. Podcast scam. Never trust podcast, guys, by the way. Podcast scam alert. Dear friends in media, PR, and startups. Podcasts are increasingly becoming a source of scams, and unfortunately, we fell victim to one. The Ken, a leading media publication, has a podcast called The First Principle, and we were excited when we got an opportunity for our clients to participate. However, we soon realized that we were being scammed by imposters. They were very clever, having closely copied the Ken's logo and shared the publication's original website with us. My initial concern was the 10,000 fee they requested, but they claimed it was a new initiative aimed at supporting upcoming startups, justifying the platform fee. It seemed too good to be true, and since many legitimate podcasts include commercials, we had no reason to doubt them. And this lady is the founder and director of an agency called Nutgraph PR, which is ironic because Ken also has a newsletter called Nutgraph. So, yeah, I think it's poetic also in a sense.
But Pete, did you read that? Saksham, did you read that? A lot of podcasts charge fees. That's what she has mentioned. We didn't know about it. Should we
Yeah,
Yeah, if you
also?
have
we're just talking
Pavan,
about
if you
stuff
have
that come across.
300, yeah, if you have 300 views on a podcast, nobody will pay you, brother. Like that's the sad reality.
The Ken themselves are a scam, it seems. Sheesh, I love Ken.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think so. Ken is doing a decent job. I love reading their mailers and podcasts as well.
Guys, I don't want
Yeah,
to say
the only
this,
thing
but
that I
looks
don't,
like sorry, it looks like
yeah,
these scammers actually grabbed these folks by their nuts and made them pay them for their recording.
nut graph, huh?
But I seriously feel that for Indian startup desktop, I would want to be in this position where someone is scamming people saying that they are Indian startup desktop.
Oh, absolutely.
That
Please,
seems like considerable credibility, right?
manifestation, guys.
Sheesh. Story took a very interesting turn when the person who actually scammed these people replied. And the original person who got scammed was like, I exposed the scam. And now both Tamina and Nivala are threatening me with legal consequences.
It reminds me of the
Fuck, man.
Spider-Man
This
meme.
is scary.
Just doing this.
Oh, so
Oh
this is
no.
a scammer. Hi all, one of my friends was involved in this and I merely helped him out as he was looking out for leads. I wasn't even involved in this and didn't even know that he isn't a legit part of the system. It's a huge friend to me as well. Great, you should always have friends like this. Neither my friend Nilav knew this was a scam. Some person from one of the PR group I'm in named Piyush approached us and told us that they will give my friend commission if he can bring some clients for the podcast. That is how this happened. Apologies to anyone who has faced inconvenience on this matter. Me and my friend will be careful in future and watch out for such horrible scams.
Surprisingly well received by this lady.
It's not well received. Look at this. Please stop
Oh,
this
okay.
BS. Your
Thank
friend
God.
Nilava
Yeah.
is the one who we paid. Now it is my bad that I relied on my accounts team, who of course wouldn't know that this guy was a scammer. Your friend Nilava is not picking our calls. Either help us recover our money or face consequences.
I'm very interested to know how much money did she pay?
10,000.
10,000. Okay.
10,000, bro. She just
10,000.
mentioned that, no? Amina has just
Interesting.
6 connections in LinkedIn profile. Don't know about Saha and Piyush. It's a brutal world out there. There are people always trying to scam you. Never ever pay money to anything you find a little bit suspicious. By the way, if you want to donate to this podcast, my UPI ID you can find in the comments below. But yes, that's it from this week's episode of the Indian Startup Desktop. See you next week. Bye
See you
bye.
guys. Bye bye.
Bye, folks.